break, but just this homestand as a whole, how frustrating does that leave you, heading into the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's embarrassing, honestly. Just, feels like we've had a million opportunities to make adjustments, and get him in the direction that we think we're capable of, and nobody more so than myself, and just haven't been able to do it. So, it sucks. At some point, you either, keep thinking that you're better than you're playing. Like at this point, we've got to be brutally honest with ourselves, and like I said, myself more so than anybody, and commit to finding a process that helps us get better to where we can start winning some games to the level that we need to, and that's really, I think, the goal, regardless of what the prospects of your season are. So for me, that's got to be the focus going forward.
You mentioned finding a process. How do you find that as a team?
Yeah, I mean, you got to be honest with yourselves. You got to communicate on it. You got to identify the things that matter to you. There's multiple ways to be successful. You see that in baseball, I think, more so than any sport. And I don't think there's necessarily a right or wrong answer, but I think those things need to be communicated and they need to be emphasized. And then you work down from there and identify things in your daily behavior that can help you accomplish those things, and constantly analyze where you are in terms of how close you are to achieving those things, or how far away you are, and that kind of keeps you from veering too far off course with things. And, just that process is just very uncomfortable at times, and it's difficult to address some of the things that cause you failure. It's just, I think that's part of life, but you got to confront the reality of where you are to get where you want to go. So.
What do you think of the ball if ever sit out and almost bounces and he one-hands it?
Yeah, I mean, it's baseball. I've thrown pitches right down the middle that guys popped out before, so I think every once in a while they're going to hit one that they shouldn't. So, and in that game, I certainly had my fair share of moments where it could have gone south pretty badly, and it didn't. It's more so just the HBP after that, and then Homer Chapman. At that point, it becomes a very injecting inning for our team, and it's a much bigger hole for the guys to try to climb out of. And I think that's it.
When a team is in this position, this time of year, the business element steps in or becomes a thing. You might have to say goodbye to Mark Sell or some of these other guys. What's that feeling like, knowing that someone like Marcell has been important to the team for a few years?
Yeah, I mean, that's the unfortunate part, I think, of just playing every day. Whether the season, whatever the ending point of the season, it's just that losing in the playoffs, I think, has shown us that there are consequences for our failure. And I think in a lot of cases, myself, as much as anyone, we have a level of security that can insulate us from that reality. And, I try to consider that, if we fail in the field, if I fail to do my job, then it's somebody else is probably going to be held accountable for it. They probably don't deserve it in a lot of cases. And so that weighs pretty heavy on me. And I know it does a lot of other guys in here. And so, it's something that we've talked about as a group for the last couple of months. It's just the direction we're headed, that we might be saying goodbye to some friends. If we don't turn things around, then, unfortunately, we might be in that boat now. So, I obviously don't have a clue what will happen and what should happen. It's not my job to control that directly. So, we'll see what happens, and that's far above my authority.
You seem like you're really tough on yourself. Like even the pitch Chapman, you struck him out on the same pitch before. Is there a part where you just say, hey, that's baseball, I've done my best executing, I got to tip my cap, or do you still feel like you need to carry that?
Yeah, I mean, that is baseball. I mean, that's what's funny, you make a pitch in one case and it's a positive result, and you make the same pitch and it's a homer. So, and that ball to Devers was in every other circumstance in my career, I think probably really good executed pitch. The only other time it's been a home run is the last time I faced Rafael Devers in 2023 in Boston, and he hit a home run on a two-strike slider that almost hit the dirt. So, I suppose you could say it's on me for going to the well too many times, honestly, knowing that that's, a potential outcome. But I can only execute my strengths. I can only do what I can do. I think ultimately, regardless of what your stuff looks like, what your velo is, how well you're executing at any given moment, the best pitch is the one that you have the most conviction in. And there has to be a belief behind everything you throw. And I think when I've had that full conviction, regardless of what comes out of my hand, it's really a positive outcome. So, I think I swung too far into the frustrated kind of, agitated state after the Devers homer, and that's honestly just on me. So, doesn't matter if the pitch was executed. It was a pitch in this location. It's just the wrong intent, honestly. So I think that's a long-winded answer. But the mentality is ultimately what means the most to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.